as well. Cruisin the Coast is rolling in, and Hotel Legends is the place to be. Located right on Beach Boulevard, this all-suite boutique hotel puts you in the heart of the action. Enjoy live music, fine dining at the Sapphire Supper Club, and a glamorous old Hollywood vibe. Book early for next year's Cruisin' Week and score 10% off when you book direct. Right now, it's Casey Vaughn. He's the mayor of Gautier. Mayor, good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning. Good to see you. Good to be here in the River City.
Yeah, man. So rocking and rolling here with all these beautiful classic cars, and folks are starting to make their way over to the event. We got the smell of some good eats going on as well right across from the City Hall here in the River City. This is a huge event for the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
It is. We're blessed to have Woody Bailey and the organizers to organize Cruisin the Coast, and the economic development impact it has not on one particular city but the whole coastal region here in the coast and in the state of Mississippi.
Yeah, unbelievable. And folks descend upon the Mississippi Gulf Coast from all across the nation, and many actually come into the United States, not even citizens, residents of our country, and they find their way to the Mississippi Gulf Coast for this fabulous event.
Yes.
And have fun.
That's right. Great food, great entertainment, and, just great time to visit with all people around. Our families from afar that are here visiting, our tourists that are here. I hope everybody gives everybody a warm welcome when they're visiting coastal Mississippi this week.
Well, I've talked to folks in the past that have come on and that are visitors and said, I think I might take up residence here. They're so impressed. They enjoy it so much, and it's the people, and you know that. You're a resident here, a mayor of the great city of Gautier. We are blessed with fabulous people here in the state of Mississippi, and of course that includes the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
That is correct.
And they love it. So tell us what's going on in your city of Gautier. How are things going over there?
Well, unfortunately, we had to cancel our event Sunday
because
of the weather, yeah, and out of the safety of our citizens and guests and our city staff. So once again, I encourage everybody to support all other venues throughout the week. But we got a lot of economic development happening. As you know, the Mississippi Songwriters Hall of Fame and Performing Arts Center is being constructed on the Town Commons property. If you ride by, you will see that. And then again, on the Highway 57, Highway 90 corridor, we have continued development there with our legacy park developers, and that continues to grow and spark economic development interest.
That's awesome. How's the financial condition of the city? How you looking there?
We didn't have to raise taxes, and we were able to help our employees a little bit with the cost of living raise this budget session. So the budget is tight, but we did not have to increase taxes, which is always a good thing for the residents.
Yeah, absolutely. The residents appreciate that, and as do the employees with a cost of living raise, huh?
That is correct.
That's a good deal.
And then, we got to thank our state and federal delegation, because without their support on projects, infrastructure, public safety projects, we would not be able to not raise taxes.
And that's a never-ending task, isn't it, Mayor? I interview lots of mayors, and of course the infrastructure aspect of running a municipality is always the prime issue, the prime concern.
That's correct. And, we're a young city, of course, like Diamond Head is a little younger than us, but each one of us have aging infrastructure. Our older cities, of course, have older infrastructure, and we're at an age now in Gautier where all of ours is starting to have to be replaced or repaired more than what it has in the past. So we do see an increase in that, but we will continue to work with our state and federal delegations to help offset those costs as much as possible to the taxpayers.
Speaking of the state and federal delegations, is the shutdown affecting the city in any way?
To my knowledge, as of yet, we have not seen any, but we hope they will be up and going. Anytime government shuts down, it's not good.
Yeah.
So we got to have government up and running. I'm sure if it continues to stay shut down, we would see some issues from that. Of course, our citizens that receive, federal assistance or whatever could be seeing some repercussions of that, and we would not want them to be burdened due to a government shutdown.
We got the legislature, as you know, convening again in a short 3 months. Anything on your radar you're talking to your state delegation about that you need at the municipal level, or in particular in the city of Gautier?
Well, the Mississippi Municipal League, we will have our small town conference next week in Philadelphia, Mississippi, with all of our state, local, municipal leaders. Our legislative committee will meet to see what hot topics we would like to meet with the delegation about. But in addition, our city request, we will continue to ask for what we asked for last session, which was for some infrastructure and also, our different projects that we have going on throughout the city. We will continue to work those projects and then, of course, ask them to support some other challenges. We got an MDOT project rolling through the city, us and Ocean Springs, that we will be partnering both municipalities, working with Mayor Cox to make sure we work with our MDOT Commissioner Busby, and us trying to get the funding to help take some of that burden off of our municipalities, that Highway 90 widening project that is a federal project.
Mayor, there have been a lot of discussion about this new Tier 5 that was just enacted by the legislature in the Public Employees Retirement System this past legislative session. I've heard some concerns about how that might impact public sector organizations' ability to hire, particularly first responders, law enforcement officers. Has that been something you guys have talked about?
The board has not discussed it. However, public safety has discussed it amongst themselves.
Sure.
And through their union, our fire union has an organization. They've discussed it. I do think their organizations, the police have a chief organization. Fire department has an organization. I think their organizations will be addressing that with legislatures. And, of course, we will support our public safety and meeting with legislatures and opening discussions to see what can be done to help offset their concerns.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe the legislature is going to address that issue again in the coming session, that there have been some feedback they've received from some of these groups, in particular first responders, public safety officers, and so forth. And you're right, their respective associations who are encouraging them to rethink that tier and maybe do something different. In the meantime, you guys are absorbing 0.5% increase on the employer over a 5-year period, which was implemented last session before last. So you're kind of in the throes of that. That doesn't seem to be putting any significant burden on your budget at this point?
Well, any increase that affects our budget puts a burden on it.
Of course, yeah.
I can't say it don't, but our comptroller has done really good, Miss Montgomery, and our city clerk. Okay. She does both roles, and she had to roll that into the budget, and it does affect the budget, so something at the end of the day gets cut. So currently she worked it in there. And it's not hurting us at the current time. However, if it was substantial like they originally had talked about, it would not only hurt the municipality of Gautier, but every municipality in the state, the county, and the school district. So I think they were trying to work and do what was fair and easy for all. I think kudos to them for taking on a big challenge. I know it's not easy, and I just – it's in God's hands. I pray they will all look at it and do what's right for all involved.
Got about a minute left. Tell us about the future of Gautier. I know you talked about some investments, some economic development projects that are coming your way. You're optimistic about the future, huh?
Yeah, I think Gautier is sitting where, Ocean Springs is growing more to the east, and it's moving out towards our way. I think economic development, even what's going on in the country today, we do have a spark there. The high traffic counts, The medical corridor we have will help being centrally located. So I do think economic development opportunities are great in the city of Gautier, and we have a lot to offer. And I think there's a lot of interest that will be coming in the future. It just takes time.
Yeah, and I'll just add, I just talked to Greg Cronin, who's on the Board of Commissioners for Coastal Tourism, and he was talking about how the communities are really collaborating very strongly in their economic development efforts, and I think that'll pay dividends for everybody.
It is, and Mayor Hughes had started. Former Mayor Hughes had started the One Coast, and we all just got to support each other.
Yeah.
And we have the Sound Amphitheater that was our spark. Now with the Legacy Park development going, with those two big economic and the Mississippi Songwriters, we will, I think, see a lot more interest.
Sounds great. Casey Vaughn, the mayor of Gautier, has been our guest. Appreciate you coming on, Mayor.
Thank y'all for having me.
You bet. We're stepping aside for a break. Josh Borden, entrepreneur and owner, Coastal Exterior Cleaners and founder, Smoking the Sip, is next.